In 2003, Dr. Dave Anderson was running a foster care agency, and a mom came to him and said, "I need someone to care for my kids." He said, "I'm sorry, we can't help you. We can only help kids after they've been harmed." But this mom was persistent, asking, "Can you help me out? I don't want anything bad to happen to my kids. If we don't do something, I'm afraid something bad will happen to them." So Dave and his wife Karen were willing to give her a hand. She was incredibly appreciative. She was eventually able to get on her feet and take her kids back. And that's how Safe Families for Children got started. In the beginning, it was just Dave and Karen. From there, they began to approach family and friends who would also be willing to host kids temporarily, while parents in need got back on their feet. It was just a simple idea. How can we care for families and help them out? And why wait until harm occurs? 15 years later, Safe Families has grown from one chapter in Chicago to 108 chapters, 70 cities, and 3 countries. Hostings last an average of 6 weeks, with 74% of kids hosted being 5 years old and younger. A remarkable 93% of kids hosted return home to their parents or relative. 35,000 hostings later, the need is still great.
My name is Asia. I'm a mother of 6. I'm a full-time student, and I work full-time as well. I was staying with my grandmother, and when I got pregnant with Bella, and I know it wasn't the ideal situation for me and my other children. My biggest problem was housing, that I needed my own place so that I could raise my children there, and there really wasn't space for another baby. I delivered at like 10 o'clock at night. My nurse was really nice, and I was telling her about my situation. She was like, "Well, maybe you should talk to the social worker here, because I heard about this program called Safe Families that might be able to help you."
We have actually been involved with Safe Families for a year. Bella was our fourth placement. We had the baby for, I think, about 4.5 months. Our kids just fell in love with her. It was great that we had Asia coming every couple of weeks, usually for visits, and so we were able to work with her and to know that she's trying to bond too, and so, we're kind of all working together.
Just knowing that it wasn't as permanent as other options would have been was kind of comforting.
The primary reason I believe that Bella was in placement was a housing situation. I think Asia needed to find a place where she could be and live with her kids. So at that point, then we switched gears and started trying to pull together things for her for this home.
That day was just like overwhelming for me, because it was the fruition of what I was looking forward to this whole time. Through the program, she was able to get me a refrigerator and stove for my place. So they were there to bring me the refrigerator and the stove and Bella.
With it being Christmas time, we had some Christmas gifts, and we actually had a Christmas tree that was donated, and put the lights on it, and put the gifts under it, and brought Bella in, and it was just an amazing situation. I think Asia was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed. I think Asia was overwhelmed as well.
It's really been impactful on me. It's like a real gift. Thank you. Thanks so much. I don't know what I would have done without you all, and I know that the giving that you do is a ministry, but it's so different because it's so, like, it comes from your heart, and it's like you love to do the things that you do, and that's like a lesson for me.
So what does this look like? How do we befriend a parent, keep a child out of harm's way, and work to keep families intact? There are many ways to get involved with the Safe Families for Children movement. There are many roles for you to find your calling. Your local Safe Families for Children chapter is volunteer-driven and professionally supported. Our staff connects families in need with our network of volunteers. They also work with local organizations and agencies to ensure children are kept safe. Your donations fund this work. Last, you can pray. Pray for families in your community who are socially isolated. Pray for volunteers to step up and be encouraged. Pray for our staff to diligently work to keep kids safe and families intact. And pray that this movement grows, as the need is great. Safe Families for Children, surrounding families in crisis with caring, compassionate community.